Hello and welcome. Ooh, echo, echo. Hello and welcome to White Glove Reviews. In this video, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show y'all how to create an infinite resource loop using Loop Hero. So the cards you're going to need, at least for the way I did it, is I used a cemetery, which I think is pretty optional, ruins, and then a grove and village, and you want to use a bookery and road lanterns. And then I used rivers and forests just to help out with the speed. And I used Oblivion to kind of help clean up my messes. And so what you're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is it's going to be Chapter 4, and I'm going to be using the Rogue. And so what the plan is you want to set up road lanterns. So you have 4 road lanterns overlapping each square that has a grove, a cemetery, or a ruins, and then that way no monsters can spawn. And so what will happen is you can constantly move around in circles, through each loop, and you'll collect the resources from going over the tiles, but there won't be any monsters to fight, so it'll be effectively a safe trip. Now I'm going to fast forward a whole bunch because a lot of this is just laying out the tiles. And if you watch, what you can see is I'm laying out road lanterns so they overlap the certain areas of monsters that I don't really want to deal with. Like I started with ruins. And as you're going through, you're seeing it kind of develop. Now, what I did is I stopped before the 4th boss. I fought the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd bosses. And then I decided to minimize my laying of tiles once I got past the 3rd boss, and so I stayed between the 3rd and the 4th boss for the purposes of setting up the loop. Now, there's a couple of issues that you have to watch out for when you're setting up the infinite loop. There are going to be certain areas where you can't get 4 of the road lanterns to overlap a tile, and in that case, where you have those, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put villages. And as you can see in the map, and I'll slow it down in just a second once we get past the bosses and things get a little more stabilized, I'll slow it down and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Because like in the like the right hand corner, sort of toward the side, you can see that there's a couple of villages, and those villages are put into place where you couldn't get 4 of the road lanterns to overlap. And so, it's one of those things like you have to customize your layout to each, loop layout. So once you get it all set up, and I'll fast forward to the point where we get it all set up, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, at this point you can see that mostly all the monsters have been eliminated using the road lanterns, and an issue that does exist is there are those 3 groves on the left hand side that are still producing monsters. Now, one thing that I highly recommend you do if you're trying to implement this is make sure you include bookeries, because what happens is the bookeries will allow you to they allow you to churn through cards fast enough that you can get road lanterns going in a reasonable amount of time. Now, another thing that you might notice is there are a couple spots where I still have road lanterns, and the reason for this, where I still have bookeries, and the reason for this is you can actually create layouts where you don't have to have 100% road lanterns all around everything. There are spots that'll be overlapped by 5. Like you can get spots that could be overlapped by 5 road lanterns, and where you have those, what you can do is you can put a bookery in there, and then if you don't have to go back and destroy that bookery to get your loop set up. So it helps. You do have to clean up a lot of the tiles you lay out, especially because you have to clean it. You have to destroy almost all the bookeries you put out, depending upon your specific loop layout. But once you get it set up, you can let it run from there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the rest of it, and then I'm going to super fast forward through like the next, I forget how many, like 40 or 50 loops, and show you, you know, basically the resources going up. So I will fast forward at this point again. All right, at this point, as you can see, everything's all set up. So if you look in the area where on the left-hand side where I had those groves and the rat wolves were popping up, I was able to leave one of the bookeries there and it didn't interfere at all with the plan. So what I'm going to do now is I'll leave you with the fast forwarding of running this particular loop out. And this is the kind of thing that if you're so inclined, you can leave it running overnight. And so I'll leave you with the fast forwarding of this up to wherever I stopped and a little bit of musical accompaniment. Anyway, if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And I hope y'all have an excellent day.